Welcome to the Crypto Lab. Today's video will be very short, and by the end of the video you will have a complete understanding of what is going on right now. So without further ado, let's get started. At the end of June, I released a video highlighting that the mountain indicator in orange gives us price targets 3 weeks in advance. When I said this, we were about to close this candle. Now look at the chart. We have a perfect touch of the mountain indicator, as you can see. And when I say perfect, it's perfect. We touched it and we had a bounce. And you remember that every time that we touch the mountain indicator, we have a bounce to the upside, because we know that XRP cannot have a candle closing below the mountain indicator. As you can see, it was the case during the SEC sell-off. We touched it, we pierced it, but we didn't close below it, we had a bounce. Here for the bottom of XRP, it was exactly the same thing. And if we go back to the past, it was the same thing. Here it was a local bottom, we pierced it, we had a bounce. We pierced it, we have a bounce. So we knew that here XRP had to stop before going lower, and that's why we had a bounce to the upside, then going sideways before retesting the mountain indicator. Now that we know that this indicator catches local bottoms and cycle bottoms, how to know if it's a local bottom or a cycle bottom? For example, when we were there, we didn't know if it was a local bottom or a cycle bottom. And to answer to this question, I released a video last week about this chart. I said that an explosive move was coming for one simple reason: this candle. I said that if XRP had to bounce, it was here, by using this line of the channel as a support, because it was the case during the SEC sell-off and for the very bottom of XRP. So we knew that if XRP had to bounce, it had no chance but doing it here. That's why I said in my previous video that if we cross this line, we will probably make a new low, and this is exactly what we did. And I even said that we might retest the mountain indicator, and this is exactly what we did, guys. So now the question becomes, is this our cycle bottom? Well, there is a chance, but it's not sure yet. Let me explain. XRP will probably bottom when Bitcoin bottoms. This is my big picture chart for Bitcoin, and for those watching my Bitcoin videos, you know that we've been talking about this confluence area just right here multiple weeks in advance. When we were still here and we got out of the spotlight indicator in yellow, we saw that all these lines were converging to the same location. You can see here we have the aqua line going down, we have the 200 weeks moving average going like this, we have the bottom line of Bitcoin going like this, we have the mountain indicator in green like this, and we saw that all the lines were going to the same place. That's why I said in my previous videos that the most bearish scenario was this one, and it was very probable because in the past we know that every time that these lines crossed and gathered to the same location, it was a perfect time to buy Bitcoin because it was a bottom. And it was like the price was attracted to this area of confluence. It was the case here, but it was also the case in the past in 2015. As you can see, we have a great area of confluence and the price had been attracted to this area. Okay, so there was a great chance to leave the same thing again, and this is exactly what we did. We crossed the cloud line with the white dots, as you can see, and we were attracted to this area. And look how we touched the mountain indicator. It was very, very precise, as you can see, and it was a perfect touch. And I'm not making up this chart right now. We've been talking about the mountain indicator for weeks and even months in advance, because we saw that the mountain indicator was showing up here and it was waiting until we touched it, and we finally touched it this week. However, I want you to pay attention to this. In the past, we reached a bottom after retesting all the lines. So as you can see, we have 5 lines. We have the aqua line in blue, the 200 weeks moving average in red, then the bottom golden line here. We have the mountain indicator in green, and we have the regression line, the bottom regression line with the red dots, okay? And if we have a look at the past, you will see that it was very precise. And after reaching a bottom, we retested all the lines, okay? So when it was the bottoms, you see that we touched the aqua line, the golden line, the 200 weeks moving average, the red dots, and the mountain indicator. Here it was the same thing. With one candle, we touched all these lines. However, if we take a look at the current situation, you see that we touched the aqua line, the red line, and the mountain indicator. But we have two lines missing, which are the red dots of the regression line and the bottom line, the golden line here. So we touched 3 lines over 5. This gives us a 60% chance that the bottom is in. But there is still some room to retest all the lines by the end of June. In any case, if things happened like it did in the past, we are very, very close to the bottom. If we focus on the mountain indicator in green, you will see that it doesn't appear very often. Look at the big picture, okay? You see that here we have the mountain indicator popping up and it was a bottom. Here it popped up also, but we didn't reach it. After this, it popped up and it was again a bottom. And here it popped up and it was also a bottom for the COVID crisis. And right now, you see that the mountain indicator popped up and we went to retest it. And when it starts going down, it's usually a good sign saying that the bottom is in. Because as you can see, we touched it, then it started going down and the bottom was in. Here again, we touched it, it started going down and the bottom was in. Here, we touched it, it was very scary because it was remaining at the same level, but at the end it started going down and we knew that this was a great bottom. And right now you can see that it seems that the mountain indicator is going down, which could mean that we could retest the mountain indicator. This is possible again, even here, or if we have a very, very big crash, we could even pierce all these lines and retest the mountain indicator lower. But if it starts going down and down and down again, it could mean that the bottom is in. So if you need to remember one thing, it's that there is a 60% chance that the bottom is in. And by the end of July, the bottom should definitely be in. While we are waiting, we will keep an eye off the mountain indicator for XRP and for the BTC chart too. Because as long as BTC is the king of the market, we cannot invest in any coin without taking into account the BTC chart. If you liked this video, please consider subscribing to the channel, give me a thumbs up, comment if you have some questions, and as always, time will tell.